Alright, we are back.
Welcome.
Episode 2, you know what I'm saying? We're here. Episode 2 of the Free Gems podcast.
Free Gems.
I'm as your friendly host, and I got my co-host, you know what I'm saying? Co-owner of the whole situation. My man Cinco with me.
Yes, sir.
And so,
Not everybody call me that, though. So.
Oh, yeah, Cinco. We can get into the whole backstory of that, because niggas don't know. My man's a legendary athlete, you know what I'm saying? Like, he get busy.
Okay, real low-key.
Now, I actually want to get into like a whole athletic segment in this, like, the network I'm trying to create with the YouTube shit. And I definitely want to get like some guests, because we have so many people that we know from around the way, like that are pro players and stuff like that in different leagues. So
absolutely,
we definitely got to get into
touching
the athletics.
Different aspects.
Yeah, we got to get into that for sure.
We know people on the business side, on the playing side, everything.
Yeah, we got to get into them. Word, even coaches. Shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that shit is definitely something we got to get into, and we want to get into some music segments and everything. You know what I'm saying? So. Right now, we still deliberating. It's only episode 2, you know what I'm saying? So bear with us. We still working on exactly how we're going to produce the content. Like, our main focus right now is just trying to figure out exactly what direction we're trying to go with every aspect of the YouTube channel and the whole, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of big things coming soon. A lot of ideas. It's just the refining process right now.
Yeah, for sure. But, so, I mean, I really wanted to start off talking about, like side hustles and things that people can get into that'll help them out in life. You know what I'm saying? Like things that don't necessarily take up your entire time, that aren't a full-time job, but that you can get into and make some extra money on the side, legally, of course. That that you know what I'm saying, can help people progress in life. And like I was wondering, like, you got any ideas for like anybody that got some spare time, like a side hustle they can get into that's not too expensive to start? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So as far as side hustles are concerned, we're in a very good time for stuff like this, you know, in 21st century, digital world, digital era. You know, there's a lot of ways, you know, you can make money on your phone in the free time, you know, whether that's Uber Eats.
Right.
Literally, whenever, you know, from there.
Yeah, now Uber is a big one. Uber is a big one. I always tell you,
ride sharing.
Like, hey, bro, get into Uber, because I know I got a cousin who personally he makes 6 figures a year working Uber, and he works 40, 50 hours a week. You know what I mean? It's not even a side hustle.
No, that's his full time. That's what he does.
Job. Right. On the side, he's trading cryptos and doing all kinds of stuff, which is another thing you could do as a side hustle. But that's not so consistent. It's not that it's not consistent, but it's a little different.
That's long term thinking.
Yeah,
You're not filling your immediate pockets with that.
Yeah, but I know some people killing the trading game.
Oh, absolutely.
Man. If you got the sauce,
people.
man. Matter of fact, if you got the sauce, hit my DM. Listen, put me on, because you know what I'm saying. I get into the crypto, and we buying long term out here. We holding.
Yeah, same.
You know what I'm saying. I'm not looking at,
term,
but hey, man, I know some people making a killing. Like people who catch the wave early. Like I remember, I think you caught the AMC wave during the pandemic, didn't you?
Bro, early. I got AMC, I got like 5 AMCs early.
Some people got real lucky and was catching waves all pandemic, especially with like the cryptos and the stocks the way. Because what was it? Was it AMC? What was the other one? GameStop.
Yeah,
shit got so real. They shut down everything. They said
like, nah, you're not having
niggas
that.
not getting this kind of money. Y'all done.
Yo, no.
Yeah,
who these niggas getting money like this?
Yeah, that shit was intense. But I mean, other side hustles for sure. I always tell like women, especially, yo, if you not doing lashes, you not doing nails. Like if you not getting into something like that, a product that you already are into,
already doing, already consuming,
something that all your friends is already doing. It's like, man, you should definitely get into that, man. Like I know some women making some great money.
A lot of bosses
doing like a lot of bosses. Right?
Real, big money. Shout out to all the bosses out there, all the boss women out there.
Boss women, boss males. Listen, everybody that's getting to it, man. Like I tell girls all the time, like, yo, you got 4 or 5 friends that you talk to on a weekly basis. They all get their lashes done. Why don't you just work on that craft? If you can get them to pay you, you know what I mean, 50, 100. I don't even know how much lashes cost. You know what I'm saying? But I think they're pretty expensive.
They not cheap. The mix is not cheap, bro.
I seen a girl doing a sale talking about 125 only this week. I said 125. Like what? That's a sale for lashes? I'm like, nah. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I had no idea, because you know what I'm saying. Man, we used to get in a haircut.
Yeah,
the average man probably paid $30, $40 at most. You know what I'm saying?
Boom.
Shout out my man Chris Cuts, you know what I'm saying?
Big shout out Chris Cuts.
Yeah, Chris Cuts, my barber, like lifetime barber at this point, you know what I'm saying? Gotta shout him out. He's entrepreneur. While we on this topic, it just makes sense. I make sure I bring him up.
And this is kind of touching on what we talked about on our last segment, you know, as far as a lot of people doing the same thing. There's so much money out here to be made. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, but definitely. Don't get caught up in thinking about like, oh, there's too many people doing this already.
yeah,
I can't jump
women,
in.
yeah. Oh no, everyone's doing lashes.
Nah.
Everybody's doing nails. Listen, all women get them.
There's
They'll get them
100
done.
water companies in your supermarket, and you gonna pick up whichever one and keep it moving. You never know who's gonna get into your product.
Fast food market.
Right, look at the fast food market. Shit, 7-Up, Sprite. What's the other one? Sierra Mist.
Sierra Mist.
They're all trying to be the same thing, and people.
It's all the same.
They
And
all
we
got
all-
commercials. They all doing their thing.
Listen.
Mountain Dew. Damn.
These are millions and millions, trillions, billions of dollars of revenue coming in from these markets. All you need is a little piece. All I need is a little slice of the pie.
Hell yeah.
I don't even need a big chunk. Just give me my little percentage, my little half percentage of $1 billion industry. That's all I need.
Yo, shout out to everybody killing it on Alibaba too, man. That buying and reselling market, bro. That's a whole nother thing, man. I know people doing like literally 4 or 5 figures, 6 figures, not 6 figures, but 4 or 5 figures a month. Like it's real.
It's real. And
yeah, that's a whole nother hustle people could definitely be getting into, especially if you're young and you got time, man. Like especially if you work, man. If you're not working full time, even if you are working full time, I don't want to hear y'all. I'm too tired. I can't do nothing else after my job. Like I understand some people do work hard on like physically. Like some people's physical labor
exertion.
Right. Especially like people nursing and construction shit like that, because people understand how like draining stuff like that can be like.
And it's so weird because it's like when you're in a market like that or an industry like that, and then you're off the clock. It's you're off, but your mind is still.
Yeah, your mind's still.
You know, oh my gosh.
You know, I gotta go back.
Yeah. Oh, look, I was just doing this, and now I'm supposed to be off. No, my mind is still there. So it even takes some people hours to even unwind from work.
Yeah.
So it's not even.
You
got to realize that it's not even the time, the actual hours you're putting in. It's not the time you're driving to and from work.
100%.
Some people have to take time to unwind what they're doing throughout their day to even get in the space where they can actually relax at home now.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I can't underestimate that. Not everybody moves and operates the way I be operating, because I don't.
A lot of people.
I don't take a second on one, man. I be having. I don't even like using the word anxiety because I feel like it's so popular now. But I be having anxiety attacks in that motherfucking car when I'm not working, bro. It's like my mind's on 1,000 miles a minute. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, no,
because I have so many things I need to do, and then I just got to narrow it down to like, what do I need to do today?
Right now?
Like,
Yes. What can I do today?
Right. What's on the schedule that I gotta get done within a certain amount of time that I gotta do today? I gotta figure that out, and then I just go step by step from there. But shit. Back to the side hustling, man. Like, hey, listen, if you ain't try to cut some hair yet, get you some clippers. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously. And that's how it starts.
The worst thing you gonna do is fuck your little brother hairline up. Like that shit'll go back in a couple weeks. Like,
he'll be good. Listen, he's at the age right now. They won't make fun of him too much.
Yeah. Actually, they gonna roast his ass if you fuck him up. Hey man, little kids is devious, bro.
Actually, I lied on that. If you want the truth, ask a little kid. I always say that. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want the God honest truth, no holds barred, holding back, you gotta ask a little kid.
You gotta ask drunk people, children, and angry women. Them three got the most honest opinions. On God, though.
Nah, you're not even lying.
Oh, hold on. Oh, okay, never mind. I just asked Joe if he was pulling up. I can't even read what he just said. Never mind. We're not gonna get into that. Listen, man, I got my brother Joe coming real soon. Joe Chaz. Yes, Joe Chaz. I can't listen. When y'all get a load of this motherfucker, man, y'all gonna see some shit, man. It's big things on the way for sure. That he's gonna be part of the music segment too, but definitely part of this segment here where we're just talking about life and everything else going on. But Definitely want to start a music segment, man. I think music it's so important, like to discuss and even to just acknowledge like how much it really affects our everyday life.
How much it's evolved in this time in general.
Nah, for sure. But see, even like music, side hustling, man. Listen, some people want to be rappers, some people want to be producers. People forget engineering is a job.
Engineering is literally just
that's another hustle. You know what I mean?
Literally just cleaning up a track.
Yeah,
cleaning up, putting a nice bow on it.
Learning that. And not for that, if you're already into music, you should probably if you're already like rapping and stuff like that, you should get into like the deeper workings of that stuff and learning how to make a beat, learning how to produce, how everything. You know what I'm saying? Definitely want to get into that because people have their own little at-home studio setups, man. You could get your shit right, you know what I'm saying? Put a little budget together, get you a nice little studio, start charging people to record. Because the average person, the average local rapper knows what? 20 other kids that are trying to rap also.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And instead of them having to pay however much, 100, 150 an hour at Quad Studios or Platinum or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They can just go to your studio. It might not be clad in studio quality just yet, but you're working towards it, and you're obviously not gonna be charging
All
as much.
starts from somewhere,
But
right?
at the same time, you're working on your craft too. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people get into it, man. Get into it.
And real quick, shout out Eric Moss, Hardly Broke Clothing.
Yes, sir, Ski. Shout out my brother Eric Morris. Facts.
Yes.
Out in Memphis, you know what I mean?
Shout out
there for a little
Memphis,
minute.
you feel me? We got connections everywhere, ties everywhere.
Yeah, word. Shout out Eric, man. That's but yeah. So yeah, getting back into the whole side hustling thing, man. Like I tell people, man, just try to get into something that's gonna be lucrative and as manageable to like what your comfort is. Like something like Uber is so comfortable because it's like you're your own boss.
Absolutely,
Nobody, you know what I'm saying?
You can literally swipe on the app, boom, I'm starting driving now.
Yeah, I start right
whenever you want.
Right, or even if you had work today, you worked a full day hour shift, you could just take a little 2-hour nap after work, get up, hey, turn the Uber on, do a little couple hours. Like I know people who literally could do $150, $200 in 3-4 hours. Especially if you post up by like the airports, like go by Newark Airport. You know what I'm saying? Go to LaGuardia, JFK, do whatever you got to do. And also, don't sleep on Uber Eats, because I know some of y'all too young to actually drive Uber, or some of y'all licenses fucked up.
DoorDash, all that.
Listen, get into DoorDash, get into Uber Eats, figure it out, man.
Making a killing. I know people making a killing doing it.
And shit, I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, man, I know some people using their mom's ID. They doing it. They really 19, 20. Listen, man, if you want to get it, you gotta get it. Listen.
Hey, there's ways to get it out
You
here.
ain't hurt nobody, man. Go ahead, get your money, man. I know people literally. I know girls using her mom's DoorDash account to do DoorDash, and she like 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to be 21 if I'm not mistaken. So, hey, man. And some people be like, oh, but I don't have a car. Man, I see niggas on a bike in 30-degree weather. On God, I seen a nigga drive through a thunderstorm. But I felt so bad to tip the nigga $20. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, you got this, bro. You got it. Just had a whole 20. That whole Andrew right there. Just take it.
Yeah, just take it. It was off the strength. I'm like, bro, you really drove here on a bike, bro? It's really raining out there. It's really 20-something degrees. Like, it's hail, rain, snow. Like, it's dangerous out there. And this nigga, you know what I'm saying, he's doing what he had to do.
Yeah.
So, can't be mad at that.
Speaking of side hustles, can we talk about how we've been the side hustle generation out of necessity?
Yeah. Talk on it. Go ahead.
Can we talk about that? How everyone has to realize that wages don't go up as much as inflation every year. So if we go back to the early '80s, that's the time where the flip switched. Because before then, a lot of people could live off one salary.
Yeah.
The father worked.
Yeah.
Went into work. 40 hours, how many hours, and then the mother came home. Mother stayed home and took care of the children.
Yeah.
But in the early '80s, that flip switched. That you needed two incomes in order to live like their parents.
Yeah.
So that generation, they were called the dual income, no kids generation, the preppy generation.
Right before you just said that, I was literally thinking like, yo, now think about it, man. Growing up, a lot what you would hear is, oh, my mom had 2-3 jobs to take care of us. My dad works 3 jobs to take care of us.
Yeah,
my mom had to work.
I didn't had to.
But it wasn't a side hustle. They had two
full jobs.
Like, I'm gonna go clock in 8 hours, and I'm gonna go clock in another 8 hours, and I'm gonna go see my kids an hour a day because that's all I can afford.
They needed that in order to live like the previous generation. Now if we fast forward now, everybody has a full-time job, side hustle out of necessity. You have to.
No, for sure.
And me being in real estate, I can attest to this. Right? We are the most educated generation out of any previous generation, but we have the least amount of resources as far as monetary wealth than any other generation because of inflation. We're the generation that we're at home. The millennials are at home and not buying houses at the percentages of every predecessing generations.
Right.
Because
that means past generations for those, you know what I'm saying? He might have just threw you over that big ass word. He might have just threw y'all off. But
so, we've evolved out of necessity, and I like the fact that we're so adaptable and we make everything normalized. Now we're in a situation where even when people are moving out, they're not even buying their own stuff. I mean, they're not even renting their own place. It's let's rent a room out. Let's rent a room out together and do it that way because everything has been so expensive nowadays compared to the previous generations. My father moved out when he was 18. And he keeps telling me that story. I'm like, bro, moving out when you 18? It ain't like moving out when you 18 right now, bro. You graduated high school in 75, my brother.
yeah, right.
You
people
feel
paying $100 a month for rent.
That ain't even on the same type of level. But it's crazy how you look at history and everything connects, and there's a reason for everything. And once you connect the dots, it starts to make sense why things are today. So
No, 100%.
You know?
Damn, no, that's deep. Yeah, for sure. Like, you're right. We are the side hustle generation. I feel like nowadays people what ends up happening is people work their job for the consistency and you know what I'm saying the to have that solid foundation, but like people are working to make their side hustle their main hustle or to at least overcompensate what they make from their regular job.
Yes,
and I think that should be the goal.
Yes, and I definitely think that should be the goal.
Yeah,
I think
because now your side hustle it's really a small business.
It's a small.
A side hustle sounds like some street shit.
Yes.
Tell people, listen, I'm an independent business owner.
That's what it is.
That's what it ends up happening.
It's a small business until your business gets big enough where
Right.
you know you might not. Need
now you
got to
file taxes for that motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Now you got to explain to the bank where this extra
well,
60K this year came in from.
Come
you know what I'm saying?
You know, an IRS knocking on your door.
Yeah, we don't got to talk about them people. Let's leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? IRS, I don't like nothing with 3 letters. FBI, IRS,
CIA,
DEA, them niggas. Listen, 3 letters, get the fuck away from me.
Get up out of here. We not doing those.
Listen.
But no, you also got to think about it. We are the generation where we change jobs more than any other generation.
Yeah, yo,
Back
bro.
in the day, you got to realize that people
that
changing
shit
jobs.
Be fucking my head up.
Yo, there's no loyalty to these companies anymore, and that's
and
we started
need
realizing because guess what? They're not loyal to you. They were never loyal to you.
They don't give a fuck about you.
Guess what?
Guess what? You be there if you've been there for 20 years and all of a sudden they paying you 3 times what the average starting salary would be at that job. They gonna get rid of your ass just because you cost too much and they paying this
it's
motherfucker
all about
a third
bottom
less
line.
to do the same
It's
job.
all about bottom line.
And that's fucked up, man. When I see people get these cuts, like you hear about these big companies cutting, you know what I'm saying, 20, 30, 40% of their workforce, and it's exactly that. They're cutting off the older people right before they get into their actual benefits just so they don't have to pay the benefits and so that they can use them and get way cheaper labor from people that are just starting.
Social Security's drying up, bro. It's about to get real spooky out here.
Yeah, it's about to get real spooky. I don't even want to get too political on that. That shit is crazy.
And if we talk about the generations previously, you know, Pops worked at a factory for 40 years, the same job.
That's a fact.
Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
Nobody does that. There's no loyalty to these companies. We started realizing that these companies, all we are is the bottom line to them.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
They will pay you what you let them pay you.
Yeah, absolutely.
For whatever type of labor you're putting in.
Yeah, man. You know, I always thought about this shit since I was younger. It's like, yo, bro, people gotta understand their worth, man. And it's like,
absolutely.
Are you worth like people hear, oh, I make $30 an hour, and that shit sounds like everything. You know what I'm saying? But when you really think about it, like, is your time really worth $30? Like, and there's nothing wrong if you working under that or more, whatever. If you work on hourly rate, it's not the point. My point is find a way to work smarter, not harder, because getting paid by the hour like that, it's like putting a limit. It's somebody telling you like, yo, this is what you're worth, and it's like, do you feel that way?
You'll never get paid what you're worth.
Exactly.
You will never be paid what you're worth.
As long as you accept it from these jobs.
Absolutely.
Which like I said, there's no problem working a job. Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. But you know, hopefully it's a means to an end at some point. You know,
yeah,
or you're really passionate about what you're doing and you don't think of it like a job. When you have a career,
that's true.
When you're getting paid, it's like, wow, I'm getting paid for what I love to do. If you're in a career, shout out to you for doing what you love to do. But a lot of people aren't. But if you do have that job where you're literally there because you're getting paid, you know, hopefully you can find a means to an end, or you know, find something else that'll be better for you, because these jobs are not loyal to you.
Yeah, and if you're not living and working with passion every day or some type of love for what you do, bro, you really are just in a cycle and you're letting life go by real fast and you ain't even realizing it, man. Every time you look up, it's summertime again. Yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's how it happens.
How did 4 or 5 years go by?
That's how time works. It's really crazy.
No, and the thing is, as I got older, I realized too that like time goes by way faster once you're older, because like, man, I remember 7th grade, it felt like high school was forever away, and that shit was a summer and a half away from me. You know what I'm saying? But like now, I look back and it's like, yo, the way the first, like, let's say from 10 to 20, that shit felt like a lifetime to me. But now from 18 to 28,
bro,
that shit felt like that.
Like no time at all.
And I remember looking back, like I remember when I was like in high school, like my senior year, like when I was 17, 18, I would look at somebody that's 21, like, yo, dog, you a dinosaur.
Damn,
bro.
you
like,
man old.
Like, you graduated 3 years ago, you old ass nigga. Like 4 years, that's crazy. We wasn't even in school together.
Nah,
like,
not at all. Like,
bro,
damn.
and then it's like once I got by like 22, 23, I look around, it felt
I'm
like we
the
the
old
same age.
heads.
Yeah, I'm like, shit, we all the same age.
Yo.
Like, from 21 to 30, we feel like we all about the same age.
Now to the younger niggas, we are the old heads. You feel me? Like,
yeah, no, for sure. But I be having clients, you know what I'm saying? They be coming in, and I be asking them, like, they'll get their birth year tatted. I'm tatting 2002 on niggas. Niggas is getting 2001 tatted on them.
Yeah, I'm like,
bro,
yo, that's
how fucking
that's
old
wild.
am I? Nigga, I'm in the club the other day. Niggas talking, where my 2000, baby? I said, nigga, this is not me. I gotta get up out of here.
I'm like, whoa.
I'm like, 2000, baby, nigga. That means you just got let in the club.
Yeah,
like, you literally just just barely made it into the club. I'm like, nah.
Welcome.
This life should have hit you quick. You like, damn, by the time goes by.
It goes by
there's
so crazy.
people out here that I'm tatting that weren't born during 9/11. Like 9/11 didn't occur to them.
No, not 9/11.
That shit is mind blowing.
Yo, 9/11 is like World War II, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like it never happened. And you know what's funny?
It's like Vietnam.
I would think like, yo, in 2006 when I was listening to like Biggie and shit, you know what I'm saying? Biggie, R.I.P. I'm listening to Biggie. He died before, I think it was 97. I think he died. Tupac died in 96. If I'm not mistaken, Biggie died in like,
yeah,
like 97.
That's
So,
like the timeline.
I remember in 2006, 2007, you playing some Biggie. It felt like I felt like I was time traveling backwards when I'm listening to shit like that. And that shit was only 10 years old. Now, 2012 is 10 years ago. What were we listening to in 2012? Does that feel like Biggie? Does that feel like we was listening to Frank Sinatra and shit?
Because
that's what Biggie
that
gave
cushion orange juice.
Yeah, exactly. Not even 2012. 2012 was Waka Flocka and Chief Keef. Because Waka Flocka and Chief Keef feel as old as it did in 2006 when we was looking back at Biggie and Pac. Because Biggie and Pac felt like fucking
forever.
It felt like decades ago. And
because that wasn't our generation. Like that was literally like history to us.
Yeah, so that makes sense. So like when I think about like kids be like, yo, what the fuck, bro? I be playing music for some of my clients and they be like, yeah, I never even heard this. So I'm like, nigga, you don't know who DMX is?
It's
I'm like,
you really feel old. Like
you don't know DMX? Like, that shit fuck me up because like, bro, that's one of the most marketable known, like, you know what I'm saying, voices. Like,
yes.
How do you not know who Pac is? How do you not? You never heard Dear Mama? I'm like, nigga, hold on. Like, you feel me? Then I start feeling disconnected. Like, all right, I
you
know
really like, wow, I'm really getting old.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that shit.
And think about how they're all remixing all the songs we grew up to.
Right.
Now,
and when
I
say I'm getting old, listen, I just mean numerically. I mean, that means every year somehow this number goes up and I gotta tell people a different age.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel old at all. And that's kind of why like I got the energy and the you know what I'm saying, the ambition to do stuff like this because I don't want to get into podcasting when I'm 35, 40. Not that there's anything wrong with doing that. I always got to keep saying there's nothing wrong with doing shit because I never want to feel like I'm speaking down on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
if you 40 jumping into the podcast game, by all means do your thing. You know why? Because one of my favorite people that I've actually been following, two dudes, is Deezus and Mero. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Bro, shout out Deezus and Mero, bro.
Yo, that's
such
hilarious.
an inspiration, such a motivation.
Seriously.
And they're a prime example of like you're never too old because they've been doing their thing since they got lit probably like by the time they were like 28, 29. That was just like on Twitter. But then they really got lit like 33, 34,
and they got
35.
They got their own platform now. Like, yo,
bro, that's a different level.
Like, that's a whole nother bag right there.
Like,
That's a whole nother bag right there.
To MTV, I know MTV don't be paying niggas shit.
Nothing.
So like, I know that shit was
Unless
more
you
just for
rob
the
their
clout.
deck. Yeah, unless you rob their deck. Because he owns it.
Don't use Rob Dyrdek. Listen, shout out to Rob Dyrdek.
He owns MTV.
Listen, that's white Jesus himself. Rob Dyrdek is a different level. But I say back to the
advertising genius.
Yeah, marketing fucking phenom.
Marketing genius.
So I back into the Deezus and Mero, like they get into their shit and they get the ball rolling by now 36, 37, 38. I don't even know exactly how old they are, but they're getting older, almost into their 40s. And I think it's so dope, man, when people like they go into 30s and they don't know what's going on. They feel like they failing, like it's going by, and they just spark a plug, boom,
and people
and go.
Just flourishing.
Exactly,
flourishing.
And that's what I feel like we're on right now.
Absolutely,
you know what I'm saying? That's the trajectory I'm not trying to be on. That's the trajectory we're on.
Going on.
Yeah, that's the trajectory we are on. We're not going anywhere. We're here. You know what I'm saying?
We en route.
Yeah, so I say, man, just because you getting older don't mean you old, man. However you feel inside and mentally is exactly where you at. Because I know some of y'all niggas do not got y'all shit together in y'all 40s, so it's like, man, you still ain't mature yet, and that's fine.
And there's a lot of young people getting it.
Exactly.
Getting in their teens, getting in their young early 20s, you know? So.
And neither one is better than the other, but you know what I'm saying? It depends on what your preference is.
No, absolutely. It's all about perspective, and you know, it's all about a feeling at the end of the day, and the number is just arbitrary. You know?
No, yeah, right. Numbers are just arbitrary, and people, some people really don't care to be rich, man. Like I never understood that shit for real. Just because like I don't want to sound like an asshole, but like I do believe money buys happiness. It just doesn't mean it's permanent. It's a problem solver, you know what I'm saying? But money does buy happiness because, like, you could be at the crib bored doing nothing because you can't afford to do nothing, or we could be in Dubai riding camels with the fucking turbans and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
we could be doing that, and to me, that's what's happiness. You know what I'm saying? We could not be working, spending time with your family. That's happiness. You buying time, like you're able to do that. So people be like, "Oh, money doesn't buy happiness." You're right. You'll still be going. You're gonna go through some shit regardless if you're rich or not.
No matter what.
You know what I'm saying?
More money, more problems, but at the same
It's
time,
like they say you rather cry in the Toyota or you want to cry in this Maybach. I'm gonna pick the Maybach every time. I'm gonna pick that Maybach every time.
Life's gonna be hard either way.
I need the back of the back. Listen, in tears or not, I don't give a fuck. It's gonna be me in the back of the Maybach with my fucking Frenchie, nigga. I'll be alright. We're gonna figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Life gonna come with the punches regardless, man.
You gotta roll with the punches either way.
Yo, bro, that shit is so important, man. Like for real, one of my favorite quotes is it's not about how many times you get knocked down, it's about how many times you get up.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I'm saying? Yeah, I don't even remember exactly who said that quote, but
it's one of those.
I thought it was
famous,
Muhammad Ali or some shit like that. Something like that.
I don't know. I don't know where the originator came from, but
the point is, man, it's so important to be able to bounce back, man. Don't let nothing take you down for too long. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about that lately on the last episode.
Yeah.
Don't dwell on nothing.
Don't dwell on
too long. Like you gotta life. You gotta roll with the punches, man. You gotta always understand too. There's other people that are going through something way worse than you. Like things you can't even fathom.
You can't even think about. You thinking about real. Something. Right. You know, that's arbitrary when you really think about some of the problems people are going through.
Arbitrary, we use that twice now, you know what I'm saying? Shout out arbitrary. I'm not too sure what it means, but I think it means it don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? That's what it means? I'm about right? Context clues, people, because this nigga is losing y'all with these big ass words. I gotta make sure y'all all still into arbitrary.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use that shit all week. I'm gonna get a word a week from this motherfucker, I swear to God.
And this week's word is.
Feel me? I'm here for that though, for real. You know, I'm actually bro. When it comes to like phonics, when it comes to words, bro, I've always been fascinated with words. Like one of the main reasons I've always loved like Stephen A. Smith. Shout out Stephen A. Smith. Shout out ESPN. You know what I'm saying? One of the main reasons why I've always like loved to watch Stephen A. Smith was his vernacular, like the way he speaks.
Yeah.
Everything, like his vocab is crazy. Not for nothing, too. He also reminds me of your dad. For some reason, Stephen A. reminds me of your pops. Just so happy he's a Steelers fan. You know what I'm saying?
But
and I also remember like coming to your crib. I remember you had the dining room table right in front of the little kitchen TV or whatever.
We used to be
and he used to just be sitting there
watching.
yelling. Like I'm like, your pops is hilarious. Like you would have thought this nigga was on the show, like the way he was yelling at the TV sometimes. Like so, yeah. Shout out Terry, man, the big homie, man.
Yeah, big homie.
Yeah, for sure, man. He used to tell us some the craziest stories, but I can only imagine the shit he tells you because. Man, I remember your pops told us all kinds of stories from the shit. I'll let you tell it, but like the performing with the Jackson 5, against the Jackson 5 at the talent show at the Apollo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Shit like that, man. The crazy stories he used to tell us about going to the club at 16 and niggas, it was regular to see a motherfucker doing heroin or some shit like it was normal. Like,
the 70s.
Yo, right, the 60s, 70s, right.
70s,
not saying he was intending anything like that, but I'm just saying like it was dead normal to walk into the club, motherfuckers is 15, 16, lined up at the bar, getting hit with a needle, like, yo, come on, serve me. And that shit was completely normal. You wasn't look that crazy. You wasn't looking like a fiend or a zombie or nothing. Like motherfuckers was out there smoking crack in the club. It was a real thing.
So real quick story since you brought it up.
Go ahead. Yeah, story time.
My pops was a musician growing up. Ever since middle school, you know, he was in middle school, going to school, and then working, playing in clubs until 4 a.m. and then going to school again.
It's tough.
You know, he was in a band.
Back then, that was normal though.
No, yeah,
14, you was a grown ass man. Back then.
Legit. So that was the lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, he did touring. He was a lead singer. He was a bass player. And so back in the day, in the Apollo Theater, they used to have amateur night.
Right.
And you know, they had a contest. If you win amateur night 3 weeks in a row, you get a contract for Motown.
Right. Motown Records.
Motown Records. And you know, my pop's group, they won twice. And the third week, their mics actually didn't work.
Wow.
So they had to come back another week.
That's tough. That
sidebar. The mics didn't work the third week, so they had to come back another week.
Okay.
And that fourth week was the first time the Jackson 5 were in New York.
Wow.
From Gary, Indiana.
That's fucking crazy.
Little Michael. He was like 10
Mike,
at the time.
You not fucking with
Little Michael.
Mike.
Little Mike.
You see Little Prepubescent Michael Jackson, it's packed, nigga. You already know you lost, nigga. The second that nigga started singing, you know it was packed.
Apparently it was it wasn't, you know, it wasn't it was a close call, and then, Mike did a little move,
Oh yeah,
a little spin,
it's
and
over.
then
One spin, one kick.
and then history's history. And it's funny because
So they were one win away from being able to get the Motown.
absolutely
Okay,
they were one win
tough.
away. They were one
That's
win away
tough.
from the Motown deal. And he said he was sitting in the house in Teaneck. And on the radio, from Gary, Indiana, the Jackson 5. And he said when he heard that, he was so upset.
Fucked his head up, man.
But
Fucked his head up.
that's a shout out to my pops. That's real sidebar.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Terry, man. The real big homie.
Yeah,
man.
so that's a fun, cool little story.
Yeah, I remember when he told that story never came out of my head, man. I got something similar, but completely different. Fast forward like 60 years later, because I remember 2017. Me and Joe, we had me, Joe, my son Rom, Joe's brother. Shout out to my brother.
Shout out Rom.
You know what I'm saying?
Big
me,
shout
Joe,
out to
and
Rom.
my son Spaz. Spaz jumped in. Listen, we jumped in this little ass Camaro. You know what I'm saying? Visuals by Spaz, the photographer. You know what I mean? He's doing this thing. Him and 311 visuals. You know what I'm saying? My boy Rel, they're going crazy. Shout out Kai and Napri, the whole T56 Media. Gotta shout them out real quick. I gotta make sure I spread as much
Big
love
shout
as I
out. Absolutely.
You know
Always gotta show love.
They always hustling, been hustling. It's always been love. They like family. So regardless, me, Spaz, Rom, and Joe, we hop in this little ass 2-door Camaro, drive down to Roanoke, Virginia. You know what I'm saying? We were doing like a little opening performance, right?
Yeah.
So Uncle T, shout out Uncle T. He down in Virginia. It's my man Jordan. Shout out my son JG. I got to shout out because I'm never gonna get through the story. So I just say I gotta give you these flowers, man, because he does say
everyone deserves their flowers.
Huge, you know
Listen, everybody deserves their flowers.
So Uncle T had put us on to the performance, and he was like, "Yo, if y'all pay $1,000, y'all could be the last people to perform under the headliner." The headliner was Black Youngster at the time, 2017. He was going crazy.
Yeah.
So and it's Roanoke, Virginia. It's the South. Like
it's the South.
Rural
Black
fucking
Youngster.
South,
Yeah.
right? So this is their market. They shit is packed out. So we like, yeah, we pay that $1,000. Well, by the time we try to send them the $1,000, not we. By the time Joe tried to send them the $1,000. Come to find out, somebody had already booked a spot. So we ended up paying $500 to be the second to last to perform before the headliner. So, boom, fast forward, we get down there, and we performing, and we did our thing. Cool. It was nice. Joe got the crowd lit. I'm recording the whole time, right? On stage, like a fan. You feel me? It's 2017. I'm probably like 23 at the time. Joe's like barely 19. So we recorded, and then the next dude performs, and we were like, oh, let's see the motherfucker that paid that $1,000 to be in the slot. Like he probably nice. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna just
they don't just bring it up.
Just because you bring the money don't mean that they're gonna let you perform.
Absolutely.
They still
They were
review
like,
the song
listen.
and make sure let's not make sure we get in some ass nigga and just make this look like it's just the money play for the people holding the event. So cool. Motherfucker goes on stage, bro. Nigga starts wilding. This motherfucker comes out like 30 deep. This is the last opener, not Black Youngster. Dude comes out. He's performing. The crowd is going crazy. This nigga done jumped on a bitch's shoulders. He got on this big ass like diamond chain. You feel me? Then I peeped. He had like a little. He had 2 chains. One of them was a little square. The other one will give it away if I tell you right now what it was. So cool. Boom, bruh. We don't pay this shit no mind. Like, oh, that shit was lit. Like a year and a half, 2 years later. One day, I'm looking on WorldStar, and I see a nigga performing with the same chain on. And I'm like, yo, ain't that the fucking Stewie chain we seen in Roanoke, Virginia? Then all of a sudden it hit me. Mind you, I recorded all this. I'm looking at my Snapchat. I'm like, yo, this is the baby. I'm like, yo, this is the baby? Like, yo, bro, it fucked my head up because it hit me like, yo, bro.
It's real.
Within a year and a half, this motherfucker went from paying to perform to whatever he was getting. So this is by the time I noticed who he was already on the blank mixtape. You know what I'm saying? He was already booming. He already done clapped the nigga at Walmart. He was booming. So I'm like, shit. Right. That's kind of how I got put onto him.
Yeah,
Clapped the nigga at Walmart. Was on Instagram talking about it. I'm like,
yeah.
yo, this nigga is wilding. But then find out he was in the right. So you know what I'm saying? RIP that whoever died in that situation. That's a fucked up situation. But I say all that to say, man, like seeing people blow up like your dad had to go through and watching him later on, like on the TV or on the radio, like he said, damn, he sold the TV. You wouldn't have had no TV. Motherfuckers was on the radio getting their news and their music. So yeah, it was just crazy to see that shit. And it's like, wow, to see what happened and how they blew up. And you know what? One thing that I love is the idea of I believe it's called the 6 degrees relativity or something like that.
You're 6 people away from everybody.
Yeah, you're 6 people. Basically,
I forgot what the actual.
Yeah, it's 6 degrees or something. I think.
Yes.
Take my word for it.
Yes, it's 6 degrees.
The idea is that you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows
somebody.
This person, and this motherfucker is only 6 people away. You know what I'm saying? You
to everybody.
Right, from everybody. You can literally get around anybody in the world. And I remember my brother Dash, man. Shout out to my brother Dash, man. Shout out Air Game family, my son Stevie.
Oh, yeah,
Dash,
big
man.
shout out, big
bro,
shout
he
out.
used to, bro, my brother Dash used to give me so much game. The little times that we were able to spend. You know what I'm saying? We didn't spend like a whole summer together at one point. And then we done got locked up together, and teenage motherfuckers thought this nigga was a Lion King mad shit. But regardless, this nigga Dash used to give me so much game, bro. He used to tell, one time he told me some shit I'll never forget. He was like, yo, bro, when you go into these rooms and you rub shoulders with people, you realize, like, what's the difference between me and you in this room right now? It's just the position that we're in. Like, you're this close, that means that it's tangible to just
It's
be
right
that
there.
person.
It's right there.
It's right there
It's
to
right
just
here.
be that person. And it was so crazy to watch him grow, and he manifested his rap career and did his thing and took off. And you know what I'm saying? He's a legend from where we from. Everybody knows who Dash is, and if you don't, you need to get in tune. You know what I'm saying? But that shit always stuck with me, and that 6 degrees of relativity always came back to that, reverted back to that one time he told me that, and I was like, you're right, because at the time he was rubbing shoulders with Mac Miller and Current. I remember he turned down a fucking he had turned down a fucking tour with Mac Miller just because they were so young in their career. He didn't really know, and he was like, yo, we on the same level. I ain't really trying to, you know what I'm saying, look like an opener to somebody.
Yeah.
We on the same level, because they really were at the time. Like, Mac Miller was just fresh out. Nobody even
Oh
heard
my
of him.
gosh.
And he was telling me about him, and I was like, I ain't even heard of Mac Miller. I don't really know who that is. You feel me? At the time, everybody knew who Wiz was, and then Mac was next up. But
Pittsburgh.
yeah, that 6 degrees of relativity, because then I seen him fast forward like a year and a half later. He's in all the rooms. He's on the ASAP Mob mixtape. He's in Fader magazines. He's doing no jumper interviews and all this other shit. I'm like, dogs, like, yo, you really did that, like. And
It's real.
Yeah, and it was real.
It's all
'cause he was
tangible.
it went from him just being around these people. He then did mixtapes with Action Bronson. Like, it was inspiring for sure. I'm 17 watching the motherfucker that's only like a year and a half, 2 years older than me, doing all this shit that he was literally telling me about, and was like, yo, I'm gonna do this and do that and do this and do that. And I'm like, bet, I believed it. But I was also so naive. I was just focused on what I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then to see him do that, I was like, oh, okay, this manifesting shit is real. And a year later, nigga, I'm in Cali with these, you know what I'm saying? I'm in Cali riding around, linking my boy, my son Stevie, you know what I'm saying? And we, you feel me? It was crazy to just, that was like one of my first tastes of like manifesting and doing grown shit. So that was cool too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And the thing about it is, a lot that makes it tangible. When you see it develop, that makes it that much more real to you, because a lot of times we only see people when they blow up.
Yeah.
You know, we only see the end result. We don't see them from how they started and how they got to the point they're at. So when you're able to sit back and see that, it really makes it like, wow, you know, I remember when so and so was like this.
Yeah.
And it really makes the dream
Makes
there.
all the difference.
Because you realize how far they came, and
Nah,
you know,
for sure.
that-
I think about that even when I see my parents, and I'm like, damn, how far they came is crazy. Like, my mom was the type, she legit, when she opened her first business, it's like I was telling you about it last episode, it's like a Western Union, MoneyGram kind of situation. Anybody is familiar with that kind of situation, they know that there's a bunch of computers around. My mom was the type that literally didn't know how to turn on a computer. Like, when she first opened the business, my brother had to be there at 13, 14 years old, teaching her, like, yo, this is how you turn it on. Like, explaining to her, like, how to switch the computers to Spanish so she could even kind of read it at the time. You know what I'm saying? And like, I watched her go from not being able to turn on a computer to running the business completely by herself, running all the paperwork, the back ends of the business all by herself. And this is coming from a woman who all she ever did was work with her hands. She was literally a cleaning lady for like 30, like literally 30 years. She was a cleaning lady. That was her main hustle. And because back in DR, she was like nursing and also teaching and stuff like that. But none of that, you know what I'm saying? You weren't. That wasn't valued
like
when by the time you come to America. It's a whole different education.
It's a whole different
system.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So when she came over
Wow,
here, she
shout
gonna
out
do
to
the bare
that.
minimum, right? So then I seen her turn into a whole businesswoman running through these computers and shit. Like, even now, like, now she's on iPads and shit. My mom's on iPhones making FaceTime calls, Zelling and shit, like things that to her was like a whole other language.
Foreign language.
Yeah, so like I seen that, so I seen what it is to come from, you know what I'm saying, from nothing, like, you know what I'm saying, my pops literally coming from a dirt floor, like didn't have a floor at his crib, like 9 people living in the house, no floor, you know what I'm saying, bathroom outside, like kitchens outside, like, you know what I'm saying, from that, like selling eggs at the riverbank to the tourists, and not I'm talking about a 7-year-old selling eggs at the riverbank, like. To go from that to moving to New York to Jersey, buying a house, starting a business, starting multiple businesses. Now he's killing the real estate game.
Multiple
I'm like,
properties.
I'm sitting
now,
there like,
yo,
oh.
to see where he came from.
I'm like, I see where this goes. Like, so it's man, it's so important for people to have that role model or that, you know, that inspiration.
Yes, you
know
need
what I'm saying?
that.
Even if it's not parental, it could just be a friend or somebody you really watching close. You feel me? Yeah, shit is dope, man.
Everything is right there for the taking, and when you actually see it in the works, it's like, wow.
Yeah, bro, shit. One of the biggest examples of this shit, bro. I'll never forget this shit, bro. Story time again. All right, boom. So I'm doing my tattoo thing. It's like 2014. I hear my young boy from Patterson. He putting on some music. You feel me? He putting on some music, and I'm like, yo, what's this? It sound like the Migos to me. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, what's up, hello? I'm like, yo, this shit hard. Like, what's this? You feel me? Slowly but surely, I'm like, okay, who's this Fetty Wap kid that's coming out of Patterson? You know what I'm saying, who is this? Like, this shit is fire. I thought it was in Atlanta. So I didn't know what it was. You feel me? So I started listening within like a month, within a couple weeks. I go find the nigga's Instagram. I see him. He got like 3,000 followers, but the song got like 50,000 plays on SoundCloud. I'm like, this nigga doing his thing. You feel me? This is back when 10K plays on SoundCloud. Nigga, you did 30K.
What?
You almost at 50, nigga. You was that nigga. So I end up reaching out to him like, yo, bro, if you ever need, I straight up hit him like, yo, bro, if you ever need a free tat, I got you. To me, it was marketing because I knew if I can get into him now, I knew he was going to take off. As soon as I heard the song, I was like, nah, this shit is fire. And then I tapped into the SoundCloud. He had a couple other songs on there. I can't even remember. It was like a freestyle and like I think 679 or some shit. And I was like, yo, what is this, bro? And like, this nigga hard. Like, so I ended up reaching out. The nigga gets back to me eventually. You know what I'm saying? Like a couple days later, he ends up posting some shit like, yo, if you know any tag artists, tag him. I'm like, nigga.
yo, with my DM, bro.
You trying to pay a nigga? I'm trying to do this for free. Nigga, pull up. So he like, word, I got you. I'm 5 minutes away. The motherfucker ends up literally getting to my house in 5 minutes. I'm like, how the fuck? I was living in Elmwood Park at the time, granted.
Which is right
across the bridge from Patterson. You know what I'm saying? So, and when he pulls up, he's in this little gold Honda. You feel me? It's him and Monty. And the nigga tells me, he like, yeah, bro, I was just sleeping in my car down right in front of Patterson Catholic. So I'm like, all right. And if you know Patterson Catholic, that shit is right by the projects. Like, it's
literally.
It's a spooky looking area. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck you mean you was sleeping in your car? I'm like, all right, cool. But I didn't understand where he was at. You know what I'm saying? And then I did his tattoo that day. He came. Let's just say he wasn't in the best fortunes. You could tell, like he was still, you know what I'm saying, street nigga
still
for sure.
grind,
still grind. Him and Monty pulled up. You know what I'm saying? And you could just tell, like these niggas is really from the streets. Cool. Yo, the next time he came was probably like 3 weeks later, maybe. Pulled up in a Beamer, nice little Beamer. But he still, mind you, actually, let me not miss this part. The first time he came, we both had 7,000 followers when he talked to me. Within like. The time he came, probably like
second time.
Yeah, yeah. By the second time he came, he broke 10K at my crib. Like maybe 2-3 weeks later. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Then by the next time he came, the motherfucker pulled up with nigga a gang of motherfuckers like 4 or 5 deep. Niggas pulled up in 2 different BMWs, and the nigga was dressed in Robin jeans and shit. I'm talking about this was like a month since I met him. I watched him go from Golden Benz to 2 Beamers. Motherfuckers in Robin jeans. He got on this green jacket. I'm like, nigga done put blonde in his head. He like, yo, bro, I need you to just throw 3 stars right here. I'm like, throw 3 stars? He like, yeah. He told me what they meant. Cool. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm just gonna do it regardless. Like, I know it's marketing. It's good. It's good to, you know what I'm saying, have an image. So I do that. Then he like, yeah, we about to go shoot this video. Da 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 da. Then 679 comes out. I see he has the exact same fit on. I'm like, oh, this nigga literally left here and tattoo glistening. You know what I'm saying? Yo, by the next time this nigga came a week, like 2 weeks after that, he was like, yo, bro, I'm about to go perform with Fall Out Boy at the VMAs. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yo.
Bro, within 2 months, I watched this nigga go from 3K to 50K followers. By the time he was performing at the VMA, he was only like 50K followers and was already performing at the VMAs, bro. That's how fast this nigga blew up. And I'm like, yo, how the fuck is this happening so much? I didn't hear from the nigga for like 2 months. Out of nowhere, he texted me, yo, can you come to my crib in Hackensack? I'm like, come to your crib? I'm like, you got a crib in Hackensack? Bro, I end up pulling up this nigga, got the condo, da-da-da, this and that. The gang is in there like 10 deep now. Bro, I watched that shit happen within like 3-4 months. The nigga went from, yo, I'm sleeping in my car to a condo in Hackensack. I said, bro, this is the illest shit. And the craziest shit about it, I don't even think he was living there. I think that was literally just the crib for the gang at that point. I'm like, that's how fast I seen a nigga just like, boom. I said, yo, this could happen. Like, this really can happen.
Really
watch that shit firsthand.
Yeah, see it. That's what we're going back to talking about.
And then to see him go #1 back to back and have a multi-platinum album, I'm like, bruh, this shit is crazy the way I seen motherfuckers manifest this shit. And he was saying it too when he was coming to get he like, yeah, bro, I'm about to take over. I got these songs, da-da-da-da. I got this song. This gonna be for Monty. This song's gonna be for that. Like, he had a real plan. Like, he was telling me that shit. Like, and it's not like we were best of friends. That's just, I guess, the type of nigga he was. Where he was manifesting shit to people without even telling. He like, yeah, bro, watch. He gonna take off. He had niggas like House Party with him, M80 with him. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of niggas from Patterson. Like, I really watched this nigga really, you know what I'm saying, push these niggas, and these niggas really, you know what I'm saying, they were doing their thing. Like, they had their nice little run, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to the old Zoo gang, the whole, you know what I'm saying, 1738, the Fetty Wap, you know what I'm saying? He lucked up and definitely showed me love with that shit. So that shit was definitely cool, man. Shit was a story to watch. Just see that shit.
Nah, that's dope. See.
Yeah,
that.
man. And it's crazy, too, because later on in life, around the same time period, I reached out to DC Young Fly's manager, you know what I'm saying? And DC Young Fly's manager, I had reached out to him because I knew DC Young Fly was unreachable. He had like 1 million followers, barely just had 1 million. I reached out to him. Shout out to my son, Val, you know what I'm saying? And my son, Andrew out in Archive, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the whole family down in Atlanta, my boy Spuds. It just so happened that Vel, the manager, didn't want I had reached out on same shit. Y'all do the tap for free. What's up? I'll tap you for free too.
Yeah,
like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying, trying to get in the I'm trying to get in the
break
door,
into
get some clout. And he like, yo, I fuck with the energy you coming with. I got you, I'm gonna holler at you when we get to New York. We shooting Wildin' Out soon. I'm like, oh, word? First season of Wildin' Out that the DC Young Fly was on. And it just so happens that when I went and I pulled up on him, he had told me, he like, they had just DC Young Fly had just did a song with Fetty Wap, and he was like, yo, you know what's funny? I had asked Fetty about you because I had mentioned to him like, yo, I tatted Fetty Wap. I was just throwing out the celebrities I tatted so that he felt comfortable. Like yo, I'm really trying to do something.
I'm really trying. Yeah, I'm
and
here.
He was like, yo, you know, I asked Fetty about you, and he's like, and his word is the reason why I actually went through with it. And I'm like, wow, it's fucking crazy how networking works.
That connections is about connections.
He was
bro.
like, yeah, I had to test the water to see what you was on. I'm like, wow, that's fucking crazy. And to this day, man, this day, I'm tied in like this. When I go to Atlanta, I'm with Vel, Drew, or I'm with Spuds. Vice versa. They come to New York, Jersey, they already know. They got a spot to stay, everything. You know what I'm saying? When I came down there, man, they open arms. They had clientele ready for me. It was mad love, man. Shout out to them boys for real, man. Shout out to them boys for real, man.
The connections run deep.
Nah, for sure, man. For sure, that shit is dope. Like, networking is so important, man. Motherfuckers, you gotta value your network, man. They say your network is your net worth,
and that's exactly what it is.
No, for sure.
That's exactly what it is. That's what all these companies do. All these companies are connected. What do you think Amazon is?
Yeah,
they're just
Amazon
connected.
And like these fraternities and like their whole thing is really predecessor on like just networking. Like, that's what it's all about. Who do you know in what rooms that you can open the door for me? And that, I think that's also a dope ass, like, I think frats is a dope ass concept. Like, even though I never got into it. I mean, I was never in college really, so but I think frats is definitely something people should be getting into. Like, if you're in college, just because of the network. Like, I don't see why not. Like,
shout out Kappa. You feel me?
You know
Big
what I'm saying? Shout out everybody for real, because I just think it's a dope concept to build a brotherhood
absolutely,
and,
bro.
you know, a camaraderie even between strangers. Cause
that's what it is.
Bro,
it's about the connections, man.
Yeah, I seen that shit.
All educated, like.
I seen that shit go far because my brother's he's in a frat. He's Lambda, oops, and Lambda. Pardon me if I pronounced that wrong. LUL. Shout out to the brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? LUL. It's a Spanish frat, if I'm not mistaken, mostly Latino frat. But obviously they conjugate with everybody. And I remember we had one on this crazy ass road trip that I'm gonna have to go on a whole another rant. I ain't tell you, nigga, you was there, basically, nigga.
Yo.
Like, but we went on this crazy road trip, man. And long story short, we would stop at random cities, and my brother literally posted shit on Facebook. It was like 2010. I was like 16 at the time. Rose was like 20, and his best friend was like 21 at the time. Yeah, 2010 summer was a fucking movie. I got the whole shit on Facebook. I got pictures of the whole shit on Facebook. But I wish I would have been vlogging back then. But niggas didn't barely have recordings on our phone. But my brother would literally post like who in LUL is in Chicago, or who's in Arizona, St. Louis. Like, we went everywhere across the country. Like, we literally went on a whole like trip, a whole trip around and back, like all the way up, down, around, and back. So, and literally like 3-4 different cities, like North Carolina, Chicago. We were in San Antonio, and I'm trying to remember where else it was that we just, was it DC? Yeah, DC. Bro, we literally just reached out on Facebook, and these motherfuckers, it was a fucking gang of niggas in his like personal messages on Facebook. Like, yo, my brother, come meet us here, location, wear your colors. I'm like, this nigga's gangbanging?
Yeah.
I'm like, what you mean, wear your colors? Yo, but no bullshit. My brother put on his shirt, his little brown and gold shirt, walked to the train station. We was in Chicago, literally, and like we were by Chicago University. If anybody knows, that's the fucking hood, the trenches. I don't know why they put these prestigious ass Ivy Leagues and shit in the trenches. Nigga, we was in the ghetto, nigga, like literally. But we end up at the train station. My brother goes upstairs. I mean, he's waiting at the stairs, so the dude comes down the steps. Nigga, he sees my brother wearing the colors. He straight up approaches him, hug. They do some weird little handshake. I don't know what they did, because they keep it low, you feel me?
Yeah, the carriers.
Yo, bro, as soon as they did that, he backed up. He said, my brother. All love. Yo, when I tell you this motherfucker, he done drove us back to his crib. He done got his alcohol to pregame. He's literally like, yo, if y'all need money, everything could be on me. Like, whatever y'all need, I got you. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Bro.
I'm like, yo, he didn't know it's from a hole in the wall. How the fuck? Like, that's
I got a story why I became Kappa Alpha Psi. So
yeah, talk to me, tell me.
when I went on a visit down to the University of Miami, and my mother's coworker was a Kappa and pledged there at the University of Miami. So he made one call and said, "Listen, I got people coming, treat them like family." Bro, they picked us up from the airport, dropped us off at the hotel. I went to a whole step show. Mind you, I'm 15 at the time.
Oh yeah,
Took me out clubbing that night.
What?
I didn't know him from a hole in the wall.
Right.
I didn't know
them
them from nothing. They showed us around, toured us around all of Miami. Not even just the school, just all over. Just like the love they showed from one phone call. I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, nah.
The type
for
of
sure.
connections that is like,
yeah, man. And it just goes back to saying, like, man, you gotta value your connections, man. Value your network, man. But yeah, unfortunately, man, we gotta cut this episode short, man. We got a million more stories, you know what I'm saying?
absolutely. We can do this all day, baby.
Listen, more episodes coming soon.
A lot more coming soon.
You know what I'm saying? More content. We gonna be back real soon.
Just the beginning.
And
Just the beginning.
Man, wrapping this up, man. Episode 2, Free Gems
Free
Podcast.
Gems, baby. Free Gems.
And we are gone.
We are gone. Thank you.